Ladies and gentlemen, this is TVP World. You're watching another edition of Military Mind, bringing you news from the front lines. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee. Overnight, Ukrainian air defenses shot down 45 out of 71 drones launched by Russia in a large-scale assault, according to Ukraine's Air Force. One of the primary targets in the overnight drone assault was Kryvyi in the Dnipro region, where a Russian strike damaged an industrial facility, according to the city's mayor. In Sumy, drones hit civilian infrastructure, cutting power to parts of the city. No casualties were reported there. In Kherson, however, one civilian was reportedly killed in a shelling attack and another was wounded in a separate drone strike. Meanwhile, Russia claims its air defenses shot down 33 Ukrainian drones overnight across 6 regions. The governor of Rostov reported drone attacks on Novocherkassk and nearby settlements, with 4 people injured. Local media says strike hit areas near the railway station and the state district power plant, sparking multiple fires across the city. On the front lines, a Ukrainian Mirage 2000 fighter jet went down overnight. Ukrainian Air Force officials said the pilot ejected successfully and is in stable condition. No other injuries were reported on the ground. Ukrainian military analysts have confirmed reports of Russian sabotage units infiltrating the city of Pokrovsk and attempting to secure positions on the outskirts. Now, these appear to be small groups similar to previous attempts in 2024 that largely failed. Analysts attribute the breach to gaps in manpower and poor coordination among Ukrainian units. Based on current tactics, Russian forces are believed to be moving reinforcements into the area to consolidate their position. Additionally, deep state analysts report that Russian troops have been stepping up infiltration efforts along the front lines, taking advantage of personnel shortages in Ukrainian units. Most of the small groups attempting to gain a foothold in the rear were destroyed, but Russian forces continue to make incremental advances. On one of the front lines in the Donetsk region, Russian forces continue to actively use FPV strike drones against Ukrainian units. This time, the target was a pickup truck transporting soldiers from the 68th Separate Ranger Brigade. The drone struck the vehicle while it was traveling along an open stretch of road. The impact was sudden and powerful. The drone functioned like a classic kamikaze, destroying the vehicle on contact. Remarkably, none of the Ukrainian soldiers were injured in the attack.
Да.
Вода чи бензин?
Вода. Да.
In an area known as the sanitary zone near the front line, operators from Ukraine's Flying Skull unit carried out a precision strike using fiber optic control drones. Because the drones operated without radio signals, they're immune to jamming and able to penetrate the forest line where Russian forces had established positions. The strike destroyed a car, a motorcycle, ammunition, and other enemy equipment. The attack was so precise that the Russians had no time to maneuver or evacuate. Recently, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine confirmed that Ukraine's Special Operations Forces carried out a carefully coordinated strike on Russian air defense systems in the Belgorod region. The operation targeted two key assets simultaneously: a battery of the S-300P anti-aircraft missile system and a Nebo-M radar station. Now, both systems were responsible for monitoring and defending the airspace along the border, with detection capabilities reaching several hundred kilometers. According to the General Staff, the strike was the result of a complex multi-stage operation involving aerial reconnaissance and precision-guided munitions. The destruction of the Nebo-M radar, one of the most advanced systems in Russia's arsenal, delivers a major blow to the surveillance and targeting capability of enemy air defenses. Meanwhile, the loss of the S-300P battery significantly weakens Russia's ability to protect rare areas and critical logistics from Ukrainian strikes. On the front lines of modern warfare, fire is now coming not only from motors or guns, but from the sky. FPV drone pilots from the 95th Separate Airborne Assault Brigade of Ukraine's Air Assault Forces are turning these airborne machines into precision weapons of retaliation every day. Now, thanks to their skill and close coordination with aerial reconnaissance and forward teams, fighters from the 95th Brigade are stopping assaults, flushing enemy troops from hiding spots, and inflicting losses where they're least expected. And with that footage, we conclude this edition of Military Mind. But for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.